giving you up-to-date coverage on this submarine. Looks like debris has been found. I want to share some new information, some reports, and want to share what discovered this debris. Come on in. We've been doing extensive coverage on this rescue operation occurring right now in the Atlantic Ocean, everyone. There is a rescue operation going on, and ROVs have hit the surface of the Atlantic Ocean looking for any clues from the submersible. But I want to share some information from the United States Coast Guard, and then I want to show you some reports here that are coming out. So the Coast Guard, like I said on my previous slide, a debris field was discovered within the search area by an ROV near the Titanic. Experts within the Unified Command are evaluating the information. Information for the next press briefing can be found here. 3 p.m., people. Press conference occurring at 3 p.m. today. Now, what was discovered? We're hearing a debris field. A debris field, is that good or bad? That's what a lot of people are wondering. And based off the research that I've been doing, it does not sound good, people. It does not sound good. But we put out a article out on this. Coast Guard, debris field found nearby Titanic submersible search. And here's the latest report. The U.S. Coast Guard announced on Thursday that a remote operated vehicle, ROV, has found a debris field near the site of the Titanic's wreckage, which is also the location of the lost submersible. Your content has learned. The connection between the debris field and the missing submersible remains unclear at this point. The Coast Guard stated that experts within the Unified Command are evaluating the information. Additional resources have reached the remote Atlantic Ocean area where the frantic search for the missing Titan submersible operated by OceanGate Expeditions continues. A debris field was discovered within the search area by an ROV near the Titanic. Experts within the Unified Command are evaluating the information, the U.S. Coast Guard confirmed, adding that they'll be hosting a press conference about the situation. OceanGate co-founder says crew might still have time despite reports. Now, despite the reports, the former co-founder of this vessel, we'll call it a vessel, we'll call it a tin can, we'll call it a submarine, we'll call it a sub, we'll call it a submersible, has said to remain hopeful about the situation. But the Coast Guard has put out that they will be having a 3 p.m. conference. Does this mean the search is over? Does this mean the search is officially over when it comes to this? This is the CEO.
I'd like to be remembered as an innovator. I think it was General MacArthur said, "You're remembered for the rules you break." And I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did. It's picking the rules that you break that are the ones that will add value to others and add value to society. And that really, to me, is about innovation. It's not invention. Innovation is when you take an invention and you make it, accepted broadly. And maybe think of ocean exploration the way everybody thinks of space exploration. Because this is where we're going to find the strange new life forms. And the future of mankind is underwater. It's not on Mars. We're not going to have a base on Mars or the moon.
So he wants to be remembered as an innovator. That was the CEO, Stockton Rush. He wants to be remembered as an innovator. What do you think he should be remembered as? Do you think he should be remembered as an innovator or someone that, what are we going to say? What word am I going to say? Responsible for this tragedy by rushing and not listening to regulators and rushing to get this out there. He's also being sued for fraud. There was warning signs here, people. There's reports that people within this company, OceanGate, has warned that the vessel, the submarine, the submersible was not safe. Was not safe. Now, who is out there trying to find, what's going on here? I want to share with you right here a press conference.
I'm going to take you straight to St. John's.
I want
This
to
is
share
Horizon Maritime.
a press conference from this Canadian group called the Canadian vessel Horizon Arctic. This is the ROV that possibly found field debris, whether that's the Titanic's field debris or whether this is the debris from this sub that most likely, probably if it was debris, imploded. Boom. But this is what they gave earlier yesterday, so before they were launching out to go to the scene.
We have been supporting the Titanic expeditions for several years. The Polar Prince, a 72-meter vessel, remains at the Titanic site participating in rescue efforts. The vessel is an iconic former Canadian Coast Guard icebreaker that has been upgraded with advanced technology and provides research and expedition support services to clients, primarily in the Arctic. Miabukek Horizon purchased the Polar Prince in 2021. The Horizon Arctic is also involved in this mission. The 94-meter vessel is one of the most powerful and versatile offshore support vessels in the world. Often working internationally, this Canadian flagged vessel has recently performed rig moves, offshore wind infrastructure installations, and seabed surveys before returning to Newfoundland and Labrador for a seasonal project this summer. The Horizon Arctic was en route to the site on Sunday and then returned to port in St. John's to pick up deep water equipment. Late last night, the Arctic crew loaded a U.S. ROV, which, thanks to the U.S. military, arrived by air to St. John's Airport late yesterday. The vessel departed the port of St. John's at 5 a.m. this morning and will arrive at the Titanic site tomorrow morning. We are very aware of the time sensitivity around this mission. Our crews and onshore team are experts in their fields and will continue to support this effort in every way we can. We remain focused on contributing to the search for the Titan crew and continue to hold out hope that they will be located and brought home safely. Chief Joe.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you all for being here too as well. My name is Chief Joe. I'm from the Miabukek First Nation down on the south coast of Newfoundland. And I can tell you that our people are very concerned for the crew of the Titan. We're proud of the Polar Prince, its crew, and work that has been done. This remarkable vessel. We have no doubt that the captain and crew have been handling themselves with utmost expertise and professionalism throughout this difficult time. Also want to thank Sean and the support team here at Horizon for all they're doing to support the search and rescue operations. I've been in constant contact with the operation team at the company and have been reaching out to prayer groups across the country to bring hope to this effort. We are praying for our friends on board the Titan Submersible. We want them to come home. We want them to come home. And we want them to come home safely. We ask everyone across Canada and the world to pray with us that we can find the rescue the Titan. Thank you. Well,
all right, so basically that was the Polar Prince, which owns this Horizon big ship. That was a message that they gave out yesterday, saying that they would be there by this morning, which it looks like they did. It looks like, I'm not sure if their ROV or the French ROV. There's a French Atlantic, something called the boat called the Atlantic, in a French way of saying the Atlantic, arrived to the scene also. And this ROV has been confirmed to actually get down there to the bottom of the Atlantic, 12,500 feet down. And I want to show you some information about this ROV, because this is some new technology and new information that I've learning myself, because everybody was wondering with this, how could this How could anything get down to the bottom of the sea if there's very limited technology and limited vehicles that can get down there? But apparently this ROV right here has gotten to the surface and detected debris. This is the ROV. What is an ROV? An ROV stands for remotely operated vehicle. ROVs are unoccupied, so no one is on the ROV. Highly maneuverable underwater machines that can be used to explore ocean depths while being operated by someone on the water surface. So they put this thing, this ROV, into the water. Either the Canadian people with the help of the U.S. military or the United States Coast Guard, or the French, because the French people are there too. And it went down. It went down. And it went down there and it found, according to the Coast Guard, or I'll show you again, Coast Guard, a debris field was discovered within search area by an ROV near the Titanic. Experts within the Unified Command are evaluating the information. So assuming the Unified Command is the Coast Guard, United States Coast Guard, the Canadian Coast Guard, or the Canadian military, either or, and the French. Back to an ROV. Remote operated vehicles, or ROVs, allow us to explore the ocean without actually being in the ocean. These underwater machines are controlled by a person typically on the surface vessel using a joystick in a similar way that would play a video game. A group of cables, a tether, connects the ROV to the ship, sending electrical signals back and forth between the operator and the vehicle. Most ROVs are equipped with at least a still camera, video camera, and lights, meaning that they can transit images and videos back to the ship. Additional equipment such as a manipulator or cutting arm, water samplers, and instruments that measure parameters like water clarity and temperature may be also added to vehicles to allow for sample collection. First developed for industrial purposes such as internal and external inspections of underwater pipelines and the structure testing of offshore platforms, ROVs are now used for many applications, many of them scientific. They have been proven extremely valuable in ocean exploration, and are also used for educational purposes at aquariums and linked to scientific expeditions live via the internet. ROVs range in size range in different sizes, from that of a small computer to as large as a small truck. Unclear what went down there. It's unclear what actually went down there, whether it was just a small ROV or as large as a small truck. Larger ROVs are very heavy and need other equipment such as a winch to put them over the side of the ship and into the water. While using ROVs eliminates the human presence in the water, in most cases, ROVs operations are simpler and safer to conduct than any typical type of occupied submersible or diving operation, because operators can stay safe and dry on the ship's deck. ROVs allow us to investigate areas that are too deep for humans to safely dive themselves, and ROVs can stay underwater much longer than a human diver, expanding the time available for exploration. So I don't know what size ROV is down there right now, but they managed to get an ROV down to the surface. And in that course, they were able to determine that they found a debris field. Now, whether that debris field is this Titan, or it could be something else, or it could be a debris field of Titanic stuff, or other things that were collected over the years. Maybe someone else crashed there that we don't know about over the years. But the CEO, again, wants to be remembered as an innovator. I don't think so. I'll play this clip again. I don't think so, people. I don't think so. I don't think so. Look at this.
I'd like to be remembered as an innovator. I think it was General MacArthur said, "You're remembered for the rules you break." And I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did. It's picking the rules that you break that are the ones that will add value to others and add value to society. And that really, to me, is about innovation. It's not invention. Innovation is when you take an invention and you make it, accepted broadly. And maybe think of ocean exploration the way everybody thinks of space exploration.
So he wants to be known as an innovator. I don't think so. I think he used profit over safety. I think he endangered the lives of everyone. I think he duped people. Case in point, earlier today, I read a lawsuit filed against him and the way he manipulated a couple into investing into this company as a form of going down to the Titanic in 2017 and then spun them for years and took more money from them and restructured contracts. And then when this older couple asked for their money back, this guy duped them and tried to say no, and you're coming on this journey in 2021 and whatnot. So there's a lawsuit that was filed. So a lot of people say with these rich people that signed up to this, well, they knew what they were signing. They did a waiver form. They know the risks. I don't know if they were duped or manipulated by this guy. Not knowing that it's not safe. Not knowing that this guy's own people got fired or left the company because they've been waving the red flag. This is dangerous. It's not safe. It's unregulated. But this guy did it anyway. Like he said, he wants to break the rules. So I am faulting. I believe I am faulting this guy. Based off the track record, the new of this company, new meaning they only started doing this a couple years ago. It's not proven. It's not safe. You're going down there in a tin can that is remote controlled. That's it. The only way to get out is from the outside. They can't even get out from the inside. I think they rushed to this. I think there was a lot of pressure to get down there. And we have a disaster unfolding. That's my opinion. If you feel otherwise, I'd love to hear your theories on this. But digging around and seeing the history, the back history of this company, I don't even understand why this industry isn't regulated. And it should be. And this should be a wake-up call for anyone that wants to dare do this. I think this has put this company's in shambles. This company's done. It's over. It's over. OceanGate, over. It's over, people. And I don't even think, in a sense, just leave the Titanic be. Leave the Titanic be, man. Just leave it be. It's down there. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous area. Just let it be. And Jake said, worse than space. It's, only like 3% of our oceans, I've read, have been actually explored at the bottom. The pressure down there is, you just can't do it. You just can't do it. And if there was a debris field, looks like it imploded. Let it be. It's a graveyard. Truth and Transparency says. It's a graveyard. Shouldn't be touched. That's what Denise says. It's a graveyard down there. Do you go explore graveyards? You go to graveyards to pay respect, lay flowers to loved ones, but do you go down there to explore a graveyard where over 1,000 people died, right? And who is paying for all this? As struggling taxpayers, I am infuriated with all the paying these billions, these rich. The thing about it is what this guy is doing is he's selling some sort of space or deep sea exploration to these rich investors and guaranteeing them a spot on this, but it's all new. So really, the people are paying for it. It's almost like a Ponzi because this older couple put money into 2017, which to me seems like there was other investors that invested into this with the promise of a trip down to the Titanic. Then it got delayed. And then it got delayed again, and then it got delayed again, and these people started wanting their money back. And then he found ways to rewrite contracts and whatnot. And then this is where we're at. The company was just sued 4 months ago by a couple that says that this guy did egregious deceptive practices. That's what they said in the language in the lawsuit. I read the lawsuit on my last live, or one of the lives I've done. I've been covering this case all day long. But that is going on here, people. The ROVs. And look, man, to get something out like this into the ocean, and the Coast Guard doing an extensive search, that's huge resources being spent to go out there and rescue these people, or at least try. So kudos to all the agencies out there. But man, this shouldn't have happened. This shouldn't have happened. And I hope the CEO gets analyzed and scrutinized. Humans don't belong at the bottom of the ocean. That's why it's so dangerous. This guy wanted to just test the limits. I guess he wanted to be a renowned explorer. He wanted to be like John Glenn of the John Glenn of the of space. He wanted to be the guy of the ocean. That was his vision. And I'm not going to fault somebody for a vision, right? Because we all have visions, and we all think we want to create and invent something out there, right? We all have ideas that say, oh, I want to be the next person. The invention of the internet, invention of YouTube. There's innovators out there, yes. But do you do it at the expense of profit or people's lives and safety? And it seems like he didn't care about safety here. There's no safety measures. How are you just going to take this thing and go down? Don't even have a toilet on it. Don't even have a toilet. People have to sit Indian style on this thing. Indian style. Let me show you something. I want to show you an inside. Hold on. I want to show you what this. Let's see if I still have it. I got a older. I want to show you the inside of this thing, because someone actually posted something on the inside of these people. I'm going to show you right here. Hold on. I'm opening it up now.
Just we're in front of the...
Look at this thing. This is them, or this is what goes on inside this thing. Look at this. Hard to see, but look.
Slow down, he's just in front of us. Just we're in front of the anchor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, where's the bow, guys? You guys see it?
Look at that, though, how it just kind of emerges out. Yeah.
So basically, let me go back to where you can see. This is what it looks like in there, people. It's hard to see. You have to lay down. You have to put your feet. You can't even stand up. It's a little tiny tin can, tuna can. And you think that's safe? Going 2.5 miles down to the bottom of the ocean? Maybe the federal government, I'm not for regulations all like that, but maybe the federal government should regulate this industry, because it doesn't seem like it's regulated at all. This has to stop. It really does. You can't just be a private company and just say, hey, I'm going to just take people in a tin can to go down 2.5 miles in the ocean. They have amusement park rides all across the country. There's rules and regulations and safety involved with these things. Otherwise, if there wasn't, people would build roller coasters that probably would fail. But they know they're getting analyzed and looked at. And somebody just said common sense. Susan just said common sense. It's common sense, people. So I'm a little bit, by studying this, and outraged. I do have sympathy for the victims inside this. They're human lives. Yes. Including the CEO that was on there. So he believed his own vision to be able to take these people down. So that takes guts, right? CEO has guts enough to say, hey, I'm going down with them. I'm going down with the ship. But I really do think that these investors or these rich people might have been not told the whole truth. But That's, you know, you got to do your due diligence across the board on anyone. Anything that you get involved with revolves contractual. We live in a contractual law. You have to read the fine print. They took the risk. Hopefully some lessons are learned out of this. I'll be coming back on with this press conference. I'll be giving you more information, but I wanted to give you information on the ROV, and they found debris. That's really all that's, you know, out there right now. Gave a little commentating to this, but it's a disaster all across the board, and it's, you know, it's an interest. I never knew this type of thing existed, so I just got informed on a lot about the company, about the CEO, the good, the bad, the ugly. You decide. We'll talk soon. Everyone be safe. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. Like, hit the notification button. Covering this case extensively. When new updates come, I will share with all of you. So stay tuned. God bless.